Hello, everyone. I'm Frank, and welcome to episode 65 of Learn How to Sudoku, where we take very easy variant Sudoku puzzles and we break them down in detail so that you can learn how to Sudoku. Today's very easy puzzle is called Sphinx and Pyramid of Giza by Will Power. And I guess this is the pyramid part, and this is the Sphinx. I'm not sure if they're actually in the same part of Egypt, but still a pretty cool concept, and it's very cool that he drew essentially something similar to what the Sphinx looks like, and we have the pyramid in the background. Anyways, here are the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply, which means fill every row, column, and box with the digits 1 through 9 without repeats. Then we have Dutch whispers, where numbers on the red lines are at least 4 apart from their neighbors on the line. Numbers may repeat on red lines if other rules allow. So for example, if this were a 3, this would have to be a 7, an 8, or a 9, because the only digits that are 4 or more away from 3 are specifically 7, 8, and 9. And we know on the Dutch whisper line, adjacent digits and the neighbors on the line have to be 4 apart have to have a difference of at least 4. So that's the rule set for Dutch whisper lines. Then we have killer cages, where numbers in cages sum to the number in the top left corner of the cage. So these 2 digits would have to add up to 11. These 3 digits would add up to 20. These 3 digits would add up to 12, etc., etc. And as an example, you could have something like, I don't know, 2, 8, well, actually, you can't have 2 and 8. 2, 9, and 1. That works. So there could potentially be these 3 digits specifically add up to 12. And that fulfills the killer cage rule set. Then we have Kropke pairs, where numbers with a black dot between them are in a ratio of 1 to 2. Well, there's only one of those, so if this were, say, a 2, this would have to be 1 or 4 to maintain the 1 to 2 ratio. And then we have tan ovals, which are the eyes, the ears, and the mouth. So these are the eyes, these are the ears, and this is the mouth of the Sphinx, where numbers with a tan oval between them sum to an even number. So basically, it just means that these 2 digits have to add up to an even number. So an example could be like 3 and 5, or it could be like 2 and 6, or something along those lines, or 2 and 8, 7 and 9. All of those are valid for the tan oval rules. And there is an 11 that's duplicated here, but it's duplicated because the red line can obscure it in some formats. So this is this is essentially the same as 11 being in the top left corner of a killer cage. And it's just for this cage. Anyways, those are all the rules. If you'd like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now, I'm going to get started. So let's learn how to Sudoku. Okay, the first thing that comes to my mind is I see killer cages all along row 4, and one space is not in those. So that means the rest of the row can be determined by just adding up the numbers in the killer cages, which is 11 plus 10 plus 10 plus 11. That's 42. So the rest of the row must be 45 minus 42, which is 3. And the rest of the row is only one cell, so this has to be a 3. So since this is 3, like I said before, 3 on a Dutch whisper line can only be next to a 7, an 8, or a 9. So these are all 7, 8, or 9. These 2 must be even. Well, this can't... Okay, so this is 7, 8, or 9. The 7 or 8 or 9 has to add up to 10 here. So this is 1, 2, or 3, and obviously can't be 3. So therefore, this can't be 3 because of that 3. So this is 1, 2, which forces this to be 8 or 9. Similarly here, you could have 1 through 6, or the possibilities here are 1, 9, 2, 8, or 3, 7, or 4, 6. But 3, 7 is eliminated because of that 3. These digits have to be 4 away from 1 or 2, so they must be 6, 8, or 9. It cannot be 7, again, because of 3, 7 is ruled out here. So then this is 1, 2, or 4. 4, if this was a 4, the 4 can only be next to 8 and 9 on a Dutch whisper line. So this doesn't work for 4 and 6. So therefore, this can't be 4 and 6 specifically, because they can't be next to each other on the Dutch whisper line. Now we have a 1, 2 pair in row 4 and an 8, 9 pair in row 4, which eliminates 1, 2, and 8, 9 in the rest of the row. So these have to be 4, 7, and 5, 6 left. And so this is 4, 7, or 5, 6. Okay. What else do we know? Okay, well, I spied this one specifically because there's only one set of 2 unique digits which can add up to 16, and that's specifically 7 and 9. And so we also know for 2 cells that add up to 14, there's 2 sets, 5 and 9 and 6 and 8. But the 5 and 9 is eliminated because we have a 7 and 9 pair in the same row. So this must be 6 and 8. Well, now we have a 7 and 9, 8, 6, 8 pair in row 1, which eliminates 7, 9, 6, and 8 for the rest of the row. So this is 1 through 5. Let's go looking at this cage on this line. What are the possibilities for the sets of this? It could be 3, 8, and 9. And the 3 would have to be the middle because it would have to be 4 away from the rest of the cells. So this could be 3, 8, and 9. It could technically be 4, 7, 9, except the problem is if it is 4, 7, and 9, that would eliminate all possibilities for that cell. So that's not possible. And even then, you would need one digit that's 4 away from the other digits, and 4 can only be 4 away from 9. 7 cannot be 4 away from either of them, and 9 can only be 4 away from 4. So that doesn't fulfill that anyways. You could have 5, 6, 9 technically, but again, you have the same problem with the Dutch whisper lines because they're all along the Dutch whisper lines. They all have to be 4 away from each other, and 6 is not 4 away from 5 or 9. Or sorry, they don't have to all be 4 away from each other, but they have to be 4 away from at least one of the other digits. And that's not possible with 5, 6, 9. And the last possibility is 5, 7, 8. And then 8 is not 4 away from 5 or 7. 7 is not 4 away from 5 or 8. So this has to be specifically 3, 8, and 9. So this has to be the 3, which is 4 away from both 8 and 9. This can't be 9 anymore, so this must be 7, which forces this to be 9. This cannot be 9, so 9, and this can't be 7, so therefore this can't be 4. So 9 cannot be in this box. It cannot be here because of the 8 and 9 pair in the column. Cannot be here because of this 9. So the 9 must be here. So one of these two is a 9. And if 9 were here, the problem is that it could not be next to a 7 or 8. Because those are not 4 away from 9. So therefore, this has to be a 9. This must add up to an even number. So therefore, this must be odd, because 2 odds add up to an even numbers, and 2 even numbers add up to an even number. But if you had an odd and an even number, that would add up to an odd number. So this is specifically either 1 or 5, because 7, again, is not 4 away from 9. And we already have a 3 here. Okay. This digit has to be 4 away from 5, 6, or 7. So it has to be, it cannot be 9 because of a 3, 8, 9 pair. It can't be 7. It has to be 1 or 2. 3 is already in the same box, so it cannot be 3. Similarly, this is 4 away from 7 or 8, so this has to be 1, 2, 3, or 4, but it can't be 3. So it's 1, 2, or 4 here. What else do we tackle then? Okay, this is a pair which have to have a 1 to 2 ratio, but they also have to have a difference of at least 4. The only pair of digits that satisfy that is specifically 4 and 8, right? If you have 3 and 6, that's a difference of 3. If you have 2 and 4, you have a difference of 2. If you have 1 and 2, you have a difference of 1. So this must specifically be 4 and 8. Therefore, this 12 cage cannot contain a 3, a 4, or an 8 because of a 4-8 pair in the same row and the 3 in the same row. So it could be 129 or 156, and those are the only possibilities. So either this is 9 with 1 or 2, or this is 1 with 5 or 6. These two digits cannot have a 9. These two digits cannot be 2, 8, or 4, 6 because the 4, 8 pair eliminates those possibilities for that cage. So this is specifically 1, 9, or 3 here and 7 here. Right, you could have 1, 2, 9, you could have 1, 5, 6, but you can't have 2 with 5 here. So this is always 1, which means this can't be 1, so this can't be 9. So, if you had 1, 2, 9 here, the remaining digits here have to be 7 here, cannot be 5 or 6, and these would have to be 5 and 6 next to each other, but that would be next to each other on a Dutch whisper line. And 5 and 6s do not have a difference of 4. So this cannot be 1, 2, and 9. It has to be 1, 5, and 6. So this is 1. This is 5 or 6. This is 5 or 6. Therefore, this must be 2 with 7 or 9. Well, 9 cannot be in this box because of the 8-9 pair in this box. So this must be specifically 2 or 7, which forces this to be 9, which makes this a 1. Let's see. This is 1, and it adds up with another digit to make an even number. So this has to be an odd digit also. This is 3, 5, 7, or 9. Can't be 3, though. So it's 5, 7, or 9. Those 3 digits add up with another digit to be, add up to 13. If it's 5, this would have to be 8. If it's 7, this would be 6. And if this is 9, this would have to be, this would be 4. But the problem here is we have an 8-9, 8-9 pair already in the central box, which means this can never be 8. So this can't be 8, which means this can't be 5. It couldn't be 5 anyways because this is a 5-6 pair here. Okay. What are the digits that could be here? It has to be 4 away from 1 or 5. So this could be a 1 if this is 5. And so there's always a 1 in one of these two spots then. If this is if this is 5, this has to be a 1 because 5 can only be 4 away from 1 and 9 on a Dutch whisper line. If this is 1, it could be 6, 7, or 8. But 8 is not allowed. 8 and 9 are not allowed. Actually, 7 is not allowed in this box because we have a 2-7 pair in the box and an 8-9 pair in the box. This cannot be a 1, so this has to be 3, 4, or 6 here. This can't be a 1. This can't be 1 because of this one, so this must be a 2. and this is 8. Oh, and the reason why the 1 had to be here was because of the Dutch Whisper rule set, right? 5, 6 are not 4 away from each other, so but they are both 4 away from 1. So 1 is the only digit that can be in the middle. So this must be a 1, this is 2 and 8. Therefore, this must be 9, and this must be 1. This can't be 1 or 2 anymore. So it's 3, 4, 5. What else do we have? We have 2 even digits here. These digits must add up to an even digit, and these 2 digits must add up to an even digit. But the problem is, if we have 2 even digits here, they would have to be both 4 and 6, because we have 2 and 8 already in the box, and that would eliminate all possibilities here. So this cannot contain 4 or 6. This cannot contain 4 or 6. Where does the 4 or 6 have to be in this box? It has to be here. Right, so this is a 4, 6, 4, 6 pair, which eliminates 4 and 6 from the rest of the column. So this can't be 4. This then becomes 3 or 5. If this is 5, again, on the Dutch Whisper line, a 5 can only be next to 1 and 9. This can never be 1 because 1 plus another digit never adds up to 12. So it would have to be the 9, except that the 9 is eliminated because this has to be a 9. Therefore, this can never be 5. It has to be a 3 here. So this is 3, which means these can't be 3. 3 can be, as I told you, next to a 7, 8, or 9 on a Dutch Whisper line. So this is 7, 8, or 9. This is 7, 8, or 9. This can't be 9, and this can't be 8 because of those digits here. Since this is 7 or 8, this digit with that digit has to add up to 12, so this is either 4 or 5. But if this was 4, that would be that would eliminate one of the possibilities in this 4-6 pair, which would breaks normal Sudoku rules. So this can't be a 4. This makes that a 5, which makes this 7. That makes that a 9. So this can no longer be 5. This is 7, which has to be 4 away from 1, 2, or 3. But this can't be 1 here, so this must be 2 or 3. The 9 can be 4 away from 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. So if this were 5, though, it would have to be 4 away from 5, 6, or 7, which is not allowed because it's at most 2 away from any of those numbers. And similarly, 4 doesn't work either. And we can't have a 3, and we can't have a 1, because again, one of these has to be a 1. Therefore, the only digit remaining now is 2. So this is 2, which means this cannot be 5, because it's not 4 away from 2. So that can't be 6 here. This 2 means this can't be 2, so this must be 7, which makes this a 2. This therefore can't be a 2 and must be a 3, because that's the only digit remaining. 3 can only be next to a 7 out of 4, 5, 6, and 7 on a Dutch Whisper line. So this must be 7, which makes this a 4. That makes this 5, which makes this a 6. This can no longer be 5, so this is a 1 now, which makes this a 6. Therefore, 6 can't be here. Oh, this is not 3 or 4. This is 4 or 5. Cannot be 1, cannot be 3, 8, and 9, can't be 2, 7, couldn't be 6. It had to be 4, 5. Therefore, where's the 1 in this box? It has to specifically be here. This can't be 1, therefore it must be a 2. This can't be 1 or 2, so it must be a 4. So 4 can only be next to 8 out of 7 or 8 on the Dutch Whisper line. So this is an 8, which makes this a 7. This 4 means this can't be 4, so this is 6, which must add up with 7 to add up to 13. So this is 7. This has to be a 4 now. Where's a 7 in the central box? Can't be here, so it must be here. The remaining digits are 1, 3, and 5. These can't be 1. Where's the 1 in the box? It has to be here. So this is 3 or 5. This is 3 or 5. And this can't be 1 anymore. Remaining digits here are 5, 6, and 3. The only digits which are 4 away from 7 is 3 out of those, so this must be 3, which makes these 5 and 6. Now, 6 can only be 4 away from 1 and 2, so one of these has to be 2. And 5 can only be 4 away from 1 and 9, so one of these is 9. And this can't be 9 because there's a 9 here, so this must be a 2, which makes this a 9. This 2 has to be next to the 6 out of the 5 or 6, because it can't be next to 5, and therefore this must be a 5. This can no longer be 1 or 5. This can't be 2 or 4, so this must be a 5. Well, we have a 2-4 pair now here, so that eliminates 2 and 4 from the rest of the row. So this can't be 2 or 4, it can't be 5, this must be a 1. And this digit has to be an 8, because that's the only digit remaining. This digit can't be an 8 then, so it must be 4, which makes that an 8. This can't be an 8 because of this 8, so this is 6, which makes that an 8. This 6 means this can't be 6, so this must be 5, which makes that a 6. This 5 means this can't be 5, so this is a 3, which makes that 5. This digit is 4 away from 6 or 9, and the only ones that can fill that is 1 and 2, but 1 is already taken into account, so this must be a 2. A 2 can be next to 6, 7, 8, or 9 on a Dutch whisper line, but it can't be 6, 7, or 9. 8 or 9. Oh, we have a problem here. That's not... Oh, this could have been a 5. That's where I messed up. My apologies. This would not actually have to be a 6. It could be a 5 also. I don't know why, but for some reason I got it into my mind that this box had a 5, 8, 9 pair instead of a 3, 8, 9. So this is actually 5 or 6, and now we've shown that it can't be 6 here. So this is 4, 5, or 6. This can't be 6, though. Again, this has to be 6, 7, 8, and 9 next to a 2 on a Dutch whisper line. It cannot be 7, 8, or 9, therefore this must be a 6, which forces this to be a 5, which forces that to be 4, which forces that to be a 6. Apologies for that. That was a pretty bad mistake there. Again, I think I just got into my mind. That's why I had 3, 4, and 6 here. Because for some reason I thought this was 5, 8, and 9. And probably you were like, wait, what's going on here? Why is this 3 and 4 here? Apologies for that. Anyways, let's continue with the rest of the solve. Let's just do this Dutch whisper line. 6 can only be next to 1 and 2 on a Dutch whisper line, so this can't be 1 because of the 1 in the box, so this has to be a 2. 2 can be next to 7, 8, or 9, so this can't be a 6, 7, 8, 9, but it can't be 6 already. Can't be 7. It has to be 8 or 9 then here. 8 or 9 can be next to 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 on a Dutch whisper line. 1 and 5 are ruled out. 2 and 4 are ruled out, so this must be a 3. So this is 3. 3 can be next to 7, 8, or 9 on the Dutch whisper line. And this can't be 8 or 9, so this must be a 7. Okay, so the remaining digit in row 9 is a 5. Now we're just doing normal Sudoku. So this is a 5. The last digit in column 3 is a 4, so this is a 4. The remaining digits in column 2 are 3 and 5, and this can't be a 3, so this must be 5, which makes that a 3. The remaining digits in column 1 are 1 and 6, and we don't know which difference there is. In column 4, it has to be 1 and 4. And this can't be 1, so this must be a 4, which makes this a 1. This is 8 or 9, because those are the only digits remaining in column 5. Columns, actually, let's go this box here. What digit does this have to be? It has to be 3. And therefore, the remaining digit in the row has to be 8 or 9, but it cannot be 9 because of that 9, so this must be 8, which makes this 9, which makes this 8, which makes this a 9. Which makes this an 8. This has to be 2 or 4, because those are the only digits remaining in the column. This cannot be 2, so it must be 4, which makes this a 2, which makes this 4. The remaining digit here, then, is a 6. The remaining digits here are 2 and 9. This can't be 9, so this is 2, which makes this 9. This 1 makes this a 6, which makes this a 1. And the remaining digit here is an 8, and the remaining digit here is a 7. Yeah, apologies again for that. Again, I'm not really sure how, but I basically misinterpreted this as 5, 8, 9 instead of 3, 8, 9. Just sometimes your brain's not working quite right. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Learn How to Sudoku, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.